In this video, I'm going to go ahead and start on covering triggers. So this is going to be a small little series where we do a couple different things, but in this video specifically, we're going to use triggers to make a safe zone. So what I mean by that is when your player enters in the safe zone, I do not want you to take damage or anything like that. So I'm pretty much just going to set up a basic attack, and then from there, we will make it so if you're in the safe zone, you cannot be damaged or attack. So to begin, we're going to go ahead and just set up some basic damage. So I'm going to open up my character, and I am currently using the default third-person template. Now in the header file, I want to go ahead and create a new function. I'm just going to do this really quickly. So void attack. And then because I want this to be replicated, I'm going to do a U function, server, reliable with validation, and void server underscore attack. So that's so if we're on the client, we can get ourselves up to the server, and if we're on the server, we just attack. So for the boolean on the server RPC, we're just going to return true. And obviously I'm going a little bit faster this because I've done this a million times in a bunch of other tutorials. So if you're confused on RPCs, I do have beginner tutorials specifically for learning multiplayer inside of Unreal Engine. But anyways, we're going to skip all that and continue setting it up. So in the attack, I want to check it for the server. So if has authority, we do something. Otherwise, we call server underscore attack. And now that we're on the server, we just simply call attack. So if we're the client, we go to the server. From the server, we then go back to attack, which then runs this code. So inside of here, we're just going to do a simple line trace that is going to detect a character that's hit. And from there, we're just going to simply kill them. So the only way we're going to have to tell if they're dead is, I guess, I'm not entirely sure what to do. We'll just I don't know. We'll figure it out. But what we're going to do is just do a line trace. So first off, we need to get the location to start the line trace. So if you see here, if we do if get world line trace single by channel, we have several parameters. So we have one that is a hit result. So f hit result, hit result. That gets passed by reference. Then we have the start location, which go figure it's not wanting to pop up. But that's going to be our camera. So f vector start equals get camera, or sorry, get follow camera dot, sorry, it's a pointer, get component location. Then we're going to have f vector end equals start plus get follow camera, get forward vector times, we'll do 700. So that means our line trace is going to go 700 centimeters out in front of our camera. So then we're just going to pass in start, end, and see the remaining parameters. So we have E collision channel. So this is just going to be for visibility. So we're going to do E collision channel, ECC visibility. Then we have the F collision query params. So we're going to make our own. So F collision query params. Then we're going to do params dot, let's do add ignored actor. We're going to ignore ourselves, so we're just going to pass in this. Pass those in, and we should be good. So now I just want to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and do draw debug line, get world, start, and what was the rest? F color, we're going to do red. Then what was the other one? Persistent lines, we're going to do false. Lifetime, we're going to do 3 seconds. And the remaining don't matter. So now we should be able to perform a line trace. And from there, we're just going to do a simple check. So if, let's do a safe zone tutorial character. Character equals cast a safe zone tutorial character, which is the type we're casting to. We are going to get the hit result dot get actor and do what we want with it. So here we should have our character. So UV log temp, warning, text, hit, another character. So I'm just going to go ahead and create an action for it really quickly, and we will be good to go. So attack, change the function to be attack, and we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and close down the editor, start the compile, and I'm going to do a quick run through of what all we've done. So when we press our attack action, we check it for the server. If we are, we perform a line trace, and if that line trace hits another player's character, we will then, if it hits something, we can check by this, meaning it's a blocking hit. If that's the case, we want to see what we actually hit. So we're going to get the actor and cast it. So cast our null pointer safe, so that's fine to do it there, even if get actor is a null pointer. So we're going to cast it, and if it's valid, we now have access to the character that we hit. So in our case, a safe zone character, because that's the only character that's going to exist. Let me disable the VR plugins really quick. All right, now let's make that input. So I'm going to go to project settings, input, action mappings. I'm just going to change reset VR to attack. And I guess just delete all of these. And I did one too many. So attack. Let's do, I'm just going to do F in my case, just for simplicity, and save it. So now when I press F, we have a red line that goes directly from our our camera to wherever we are looking, like so. You can see it in the debug line. So we know we're good to go. Now, we can actually work on our box component. Well, better yet, let's actually handle a quick little thing of damage. So I'm just going to have a simple boolean. So I want it to be replicated. So we're going to do bool B is dead. It's going to be a U property. And I want to just go ahead and make it replicated using. So let's make the function. So U function void on rep underscore is dead. And that's what we're going to use for the onRep. So here I want it to be triggered. So what we need to do is figure out a way, well, not figure out a way, but we need to set up the get lifetime replicated props. So that's a virtual void get, well, was it get lifetime replicated props? Yes, it was. So virtual void get lifetime replicated props, pass in the parameters, override it, create your implementation. Don't forget to call super. Then we can go ahead and set this to replicate. So I'm going to bump this up above our attack function. And we want to replicate B is dead. So we're going to do get lifetime, do rep lifetime, the class, which is a safe zone tutorial character, and then our boolean, which is B is dead. Now in our constructor, we want to set B is dead to equal false because we start out as alive. And then the last thing we do is include, it was net Unreal Network.h. And we are good to go. We now have our B is dead set to replicate. So if we hit it, we want it to trigger. So if we hit our character, we want to do B is dead equals true. So we're killing the character when we attack them. Okay, so that was about 10 minutes of pretty much kind of pointless stuff. Now in here, all I want to do is just simply print out a log. So give a log temp, warning, text, %s is dead. Then we're going to go ahead and just get reference, and we're going to do just get name. So that way it'll print out whoever, got attacked and has died. So now that we have this, I'm going to restart the engine one more time. We can actually work on creating our trigger. So I know that was a lot of just kind of pointless stuff that we had to do, but I figured that's the best for this example. So let's give that a quick try. Set it to 2 clients. We'll do Yeah, why not? We'll just do it as a client. And I really thought I had these set to be, yeah, whatever. So I hit it. No, it's F. Okay, we have no logs. So let's try to see what's going on. I'm going to double check our mannequin. Make sure it's actually set to block. So let's click on the capsule. Go down to collision. And for visibility, it is set to ignore. So that's our problem. So we're going to change this over to custom. And for visibility, we just set it to block. Compile save. And now we should actually have the hit. There we go. Character C blah 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 is dead. And saying hit another character now. So the reason for that is because, let me actually scroll up to where we did the first hit. So hit another character gets printed on the server. Then we print out this on both clients because the on-rep is triggering. And then we continue to hit the remaining portions on the server right here, because this is already set to true and will not be changed to anything else. So we're good to go. Now let's create our box trigger. So go to C++ classes, new C++ class, search for trigger base, select it and backspace, and here we have a box, capsule, and a sphere. In my case, I want to select a box, and I want to give it, select public, and give it a name of trigger box. Let's do safe zone. Create the class, and wait for everything to set itself up. Alrighty, now that everything's been created and set up, go ahead and open up your header and .cpp. We're going to go ahead and create the constructor. So we're going to do public, name of the class. Go ahead and generate that implementation. As well as we want to go ahead and do, I want to make a protected section. We want to have our overlap function. So this is going to be what happens on overlap begin. So what we're going to do is, first off, we have a couple different things that are not coming in normal actor. So this is derived from a trigger box. We open that. That's derived from a trigger base. We open that. That's derived from a actor. So this comes with a collision component, which we have the get collision component function right there. So we have that we're going to use for actually setting up the event. So we're going to use collision component. Well, better yet, get collision component because it's private. Dot add dynamic. We're going to pass in this, and then a trigger box safe zone, colon, name of the function we want to use. So in this case, we're going to do void on component begin overlap. Now this is not done, but we're going to go ahead and pass it in. So currently, if we hover our mouse over, we can't resolve it. That's mostly because the parameters are wrong. So we don't have the correct parameters to go into this function. Now you can Google it, and I believe they changed it after a certain engine version, I don't remember, and hopefully you'll find the right one. But another way to actually go about finding this is just go into Blueprint. So you can actually search for this probably, and you'll find it. So I guess actually it wouldn't be a bad idea. How can I change the scope of what I'm searching in? I guess anywhere. Yeah, I really have no idea what I'm doing in Writer. Oh, here's a search. On component begin overlap. Okay, that didn't actually work how I had thought. I'll deal with that later. Anyways, so we open up our, just any blueprint. In this case, I want to use our third person character. Click on our mesh. Scroll all the way down to on component begin overlap. Hit the check, and it'll create this node. And here we can see the parameters. So in this case, we have the primitive component. So we have, put that there. We have u primitive component, u primitive component. What was it called? Did they just call it? No, it's not called overlapped component. Then we have a actor. So a actor. What was it again? Other actor. Then we have, I think it's the same thing again, in which case I'm going to go ahead and forward declare it up here. The U primitive component. Other component. We have just some integer, so int, what was it, body index. Then we have from sweep, so bool from sweep. I believe they index it with a B, I can't remember. Can I not click over there? There we go. And then we have sweep results, so that's a hit result, so F hit result, sweep result. So let's pass these into our .cpp and see what all it wants to complain about. So I'm going to go ahead and actually go ahead and give it a compile and see if it lets me know anything here. Okay. Type is on line 8. Potentially. Really don't entirely remember. I haven't done this in a while. Right, let me go and see what I'm missing real quick. And I just realized something dumb that I was doing. So we have our collision component. Then we can use on component begin overlap dot add dynamic. Makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? So anyways, that should actually give us the corresponding error. So cannot convert blah blah blah. Does it say to convert to? The overlapped component. It kind of gives you a rundown of what it is. But the other thing we can do is control click to go to on component begin overlap, go to the signature, and here we have pretty much the corresponding, what do you call it? I'm brain dead, parameters. So we can copy from sweep result, keep going left until we get to the overlapped component, go to our header, and we're just going to paste it in and fix it. We obviously have to get rid of some of these commas. Whoops. Like such. Then recopy the parameters, move them back down to the .cpp implementation. And as you can see, we are good to go. And I can't remember what the difference was. Let me zoom out and see. Oh, my bad. I forgot to pass in... Wait, did I? Yeah, I forgot to pass in the sweep results by reference. So that was the issue as to why it was failing. Anyways, so there's two ways you can go ahead and get the overlap event. So now that we are here, I'm just going to print out a log. Actor overlapped. Simply build. And we will make sure that it works, and in which case that will be the conclusion for this video. So we now have a simple setup to attack, as well as, hopefully, our overlap event triggering. Let's go to our class, drag it out, and let's position it somewhere over top of where it says third. I'm going to do with one client for the time being. Run it over. Nothing's getting printed. Let me double check and play a server, and I may have not set it up to generate overlap events. So what I'm going to do is create a blueprint version for the time being. Content, and see what settings have been missed. So we click on our collision component, go down to collision. We are set to Currently generate overlap events. And everything is set to overlap. So what I'm curious about, on component begin overlap, I'm going to print a string and see if for whatever reason this gives us the correct result. So that prints out hello. However, ours is not firing. We need to figure out why that is, and that we are going to do in the next video. So for the most part, we are set up and good to go. We just have to do some, obviously, that little fix, and then we can actually make our safe zone. So we will disable our attacking when we're in the safe zone, as well as disable our ability to even die. And when we get out of the safe zone, we re-enable those abilities. That's going to be all for this video. If you like what I'm doing and you want to help support me, you can find a link to my Patreon down in the description below, where I have a full C++ Team Deathmatch series tutorial in Unreal Engine just for my Patrons, and same thing goes for early release videos. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to join my Discord server down below, and I'll see you in the next video.